snow?
They have like so many sections.
So if you walk here?
Okay, those might be the coolest. I think that is something.
Red and green.
Yeah.
They're one of the only things sticking out of a snowbank we can find yet.
if you're at it in head first.
Exactly. Okay.
That's cool.
My shoveling skills right back up.
Doesn't do much good to be followed by a fast you can shovel around the way. A snowboarder when I look at it. That's good.
Retired and a plow guy and got mail.
Yeah.
Plow guy. And then I didn't think about it until Saturday afternoon while it was 75 and sunny where I was.
Yeah, we were hearing that on
And then I was like, oh no. No, I'm sure he's been working nonstop. How is
Yeah,
he?
he got ours yesterday, like on yesterday.
Yeah, like how could he respond?
Right. And ours, if you don't, it's
And there's nowhere to send ours either. That's the problem. Like the right to the back are like, if we're not there, if there's no cars in the driveway, you can like push it into the yard. But I mean, right now I'm just worried that the fire one chairs underneath it. Yeah, right. Something special. No.
Yeah.
I heard this is the back.
Yeah, ready for Maple Parade. Fly out on Saturday.
He said it is.
Yep.
Yeah, so Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
As long as we can snow, the world shuts down.
Yeah.
They can't handle it.
And I think parents are supposed to do like
Yeah. Yeah, 75 and sunny on Saturday. It's super hot.
well, you're gonna
Austin. This is the best jazz music I've ever heard. Oh my god, this is excellent.
Sunday, I thought I'd signed all the cards and there's another whole stack.
Yeah, as long as there's no stack. The
No
same
whole
thing, you
stack.
got the same message, huh?
Yeah.
I signed them all, like, oh, all right,
I
I'm all
haven't
done.
even had a chance to do that.
finish
I'm
them up
going to grab those
So I got about halfway through that
So you just want it for this week, right? So it might come in tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think my tomorrow is gonna get derailed, so I think I'll have time. I think school might not be interested tomorrow.
I'd be really surprised if it is.
Me too.
And we got the Lone Ranger over there, our own staff member.
Sorry. Hey,
And those yelled at us.
the best we got.
Did they?
Oh, we got the best, so that's all. And Emily's here. Emily can support me. What? Yes. Just say yes.
Everything.
In case we need some guidance.
Everything.
Oh no, we're good.
Phone a friend.
Go up there and just sit there. If you can cover even squat.
That was at one time third assistant manager at United Manager.
Yeah, and one time you
Back at home.
for this special city council work session for December 1st, 2025. Ashley, would you please call the roll?
Lyon,
Here.
Dora,
Here.
Fritz,
Here.
Callio,
Here.
Manetza.
Here. For this special work session, we have a presentation from Mike Vredevelt for the fiscal year 2024-25 audit. Sir.
Hi there, I'm Mike Vredeveld. I'm seeing a couple new faces here. So we're just here to present on the audit. We did meet with the audit review committee already, and we went over essentially every page of our audit report. Took about an hour, maybe even a touch longer than that. So I'm just going to go through a couple slides here, and they have page numbers that correspond with the audit if you want more information that way. And then I'll take some questions at the end if anyone would like a little bit more. So first, this is the net position of the governmental activities. So this lumps all of the governmental functions kind of together. And it's staying fairly consistent, kind of right in line with what we would expect to see. This next one here is net position of the business type activities, which is going to be water and sewer, and then a couple other small funds. But the biggest piece of this is actually the Board of Light and Power that gets combined into the city's financials. So they're the biggest result of that big increase in the unrestricted net position. And then that little kind of line at the bottom you can see coming up is also related to BLP too. They have some restricted funds related to some debt stuff as well. This here shows the different revenues from the governmental activities, so you can kind of see where money is coming in. Obviously, a majority of that is going to be the property taxes. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that, and you can kind of see everything's generally increasing as you would expect. Revenues for business type activities, no surprise here, it's charges for services. That's where a vast majority of your revenues coming in. And again, a majority of these numbers are going to be from Board of Light and Power just because it's so large. Here's your governmental funds fund balance. So this is the red line there specific to the general fund. The lighter blue line there is a combination of all your smaller non-major funds is what we call them. So they're, general fund kind of flatlined this year and the non-major funds increased pretty drastically. The biggest driver of that was there was some public improvement projects that are, I guess, anticipated to being done. So the general fund put a pretty large transfer over to the public improvement fund. This shows expenditures by function for the past few years here. So you can see a lot of your expenses are in public safety, fairly common with a city of this size. We did do a little kind of deep dive of some allocations in 2023 that took effect in 2024. So you'll see kind of a little bit of a change in that year. But, from 24 to 25, everything essentially just increased just a little bit, inflationary increases. Again, right in line with what we expected. So this shows sewer fund operations, and this is just operations. It's not any of the non-operating items. So you want to make sure in these funds that your operations are, increasing your bottom line to make sure you're, accounting for future capital improvements, everything like that. So you can see the sewer fund has performed very well. That yellow amount there would be like your operating income. So yeah, the past 5 years doing very, very well. Water fund, there's a couple years there that look a little bit funky. So we did a depreciation adjustment in one of those years. That was a result of a study of kind of the useful lives. I think we talked about that last year in our presentation. And then there was also a lot of lead line service work being done as well. That resulted in those. But back on track for 2025. This is copied right out of one of our footnotes, just a few items that were over budget this year. And they're just for your information. They're all fairly small given the size of the budget. Nothing concerning, but just to bring to your attention. And this next slide here, I know everyone likes to kind of track how the net pension liability is doing. So this shows 10 years of how that liability goes, and you can see massive fluctuations in this, and that's a result of whatever those actuaries do. They do big actuary studies every few years that have a massive impact, and then they change assumptions, and then the experience is different than what they thought, and then the market activity plays into effect here too. So there's a lot of different variables going on that affect this. And then this one is very similar to the last one. This is your percent that it's funded. I believe the city's goal is to keep that above 60%, so you are getting close to that, but trending the right way. And this is that same chart, but for the OPEB liability. So again, this is going to fluctuate heavily based on actual experience in the market and experience with the people that are in the plan, and then changes in actuary assumptions. And the OPEB liability is, a little over 35% funded now. And yeah, that's fluctuating heavily, as you can clearly see. But that is all that I have to go over. And the audit report did have a good, clean opinion on it. We had no difficulties dealing with management or anything like that during the audit. Other than that, is there any questions I can answer?
Oh, thank you, Mike. Any council members have questions or comments? For a couple of you, this is kind of new stuff, and some of us, we've seen it before, but
I appreciated the report, and being able to look through all that. It was a lot of information to take in all at once, but I thank you for all the hard work that you did, and Emily, of the hard work your team puts in year round, clearly, to make this audit be a clean one.
Yeah, I want to thank Emily and her staff as well for getting us to this point. It's, I know it's an overwhelming job sometimes, but you've stepped up and done a great job with it. It was great to see the general fund, although it was a small increase, but it was nice to see a little increase there. There also was three different groups that were under budget, which was nice to see for last year. Pension liabilities, we all know what the story is with that. One day you look good, the next day you don't, and then the next month you're right back to where you were. It changes so often. It's at least nice to see that we're making some progress on it all, and I appreciate your efforts as well in going through this and sending us all the information. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for all the information. Thank you, Emily, and your team. Just a quick question. So the pension liability fund's about 67%, I think is what I saw in there, but it's over 60, that's the
Yes.
target.
Yep.
Is there a target for the OPEB that we're working at this point?
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I didn't know if we're having that be related to something that we're looking at right now.
I know when you hit 60% on the pension, that you get help from the state that you don't want. I don't know if you have that case with OPEB.
Under 60%.
Under,
If you're
yeah.
under 60.
But I didn't know if there was a
With-
case like that for,
Yeah, not necessarily. With the OPEB, the biggest thing with OPEB, other post-employment benefits, the city no longer offers retiree health insurance, and that's what the biggest expense, that's what drives the
Okay.
biggest expense, is the retiree health insurance. And so since we no longer offer that to employees, and we haven't since 2008, that number is increasing. There isn't really a set amount, because the state really hasn't given us where we, a set amount where we need to be either.
okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
And that unfunded balance is like an order of magnitude less than the pension.
I just want to say thank you to Emily and everybody that was involved in it. Mike and your team also looking over, making sure that we got everything in order. And I tell you, we have a very, very capable staff that does a very, very good job. I've been watching them through the years and that, and it just seems to get better and better and better each year we go through. So I just want to say thank you and everybody else that was involved in it. It's a good report, and I feel happy.
Good.
Yeah, I think that it speaks well of our finance department, our city management, that we're doing this well, because we have significant headwinds, as we all know. And we get our revenue sharing from the state gets a little bit less every time, and fortunately taxes have been going up, but then Headley comes along and rolls them back, so you don't gain as much there as you might like. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was the fiscal year that just ended. We included the cost for some of our deferred capital projects that we decided that we were going to put general fund money into. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And so we figured that we were going to spend down our general fund by like $1.5 million, something on that order. Instead, we came out about flat. I think that's very good management. It also speaks a lot to our budgeting process, that we make pessimistic assumptions on both expenses and revenues. And then when the real world comes in, we're better off than we thought we might be.
Yep.
So I assume that that's a good practice to have. It certainly works for us. No, I think that, the report is good. It's a good snapshot of our affairs in the city. Sometimes we get questions about city finances, and no, we're actually in pretty good shape. We have Harbor Island is the big unknown. The pension is, of course, that's going to be lingering. It's not necessarily a threat to the city's existence, but certainly a burden for us.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to take a long time, and unfortunately, we have very little control over it. We pay the money that they ask for every year, and then that's never enough. So, other than that, no, I thought it was a good, clean audit. Appreciate you working with our staff, and that
Yeah.
comes out as well as it does.
Yeah. Yep, thanks for having us out.
Okay, anything
Appreciate
from staff you want to comment on?
Nothing to add, just appreciate staff's effort, and the whole process was smooth.
Yeah. Everyone satisfied? Go ahead, Mike.
I just want to say, thank you for at least showing up tonight, seeing we have the storm on this side.
I know.
Once you get past, on 45, if you're taking 45 in, once you get to the east side of it, there's no snow.
Yep, then we're good.
It's right here.
Yep. I know, luckily, because I was going to leave at, give me enough time to get here because I come here all the time. So Emily texted me that there was snow here. So thank goodness, or I probably would not have been on time.
Okay, well, we appreciate your coming out. 'Cause
Yes.
As you can see from the room, not a lot of the public has come,
Oh,
but we're here.
that's all right. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, well, that was the only item of business on the special work session. And so we are going to adjourn the special work session, and we will resume at 7:30. So.
A lot of reading, huh?
quick run one more time of the fluffy stuff. We can't move anything light or anything heavy. It's too that but it can be fluffy stuff. So I'm hoping I can do a quick zip 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 of the driveway when I'm home. You have to do it like every hour.
Lucky's got two batteries, because by the time one was dead, he had to go carry batteries.
We think somebody's It's really fluffy. It is. It's just, and that's kind of the most annoying. So it's really,
Well, what it is,
yeah. Exactly. I couldn't, you know.
so it's
reason for me to write out 40 cups if I don't them tomorrow morning. Oh, that's sad though. That is sad. That's happened more than once. For like 3 coffee days getting canceled. It's sad.
When it comes time to approve the agendas, there's a correction for the November 3rd, so
Okay.
we'll need a motion to approve the agendas and then a motion to amend. And then we vote on that, and then we vote on the main motion. There was a time when we just kind of did like main motion and then the amendatory motion that's passed, and then we gotta vote on, then we can vote on the amendment.
It's like a sandwich.
Yeah, the amended, when we vote on the amended motion.
So
We used to just kind of do it by consensus on this side. That's not what our clerk wants.
We don't just approve as amended.
What?
We're not just approving as amended.
Now, remember, I asked you if you got my email on that.
No, I know, you're saying we're doing I'm clerking, so I'm learning as I go.
Okay.
We're doing 2 rounds of votes.
We need a motion to bring up the issue of approving the agendas.
Okay,
Then we need an amendatory motion to change.
so a motion and a vote.
And what we'll have to do, to be consistent, we'll have to pull those minutes off the consent agenda and put them under new business. I say, thank you. Is it 7:30? Oh, well, thanks for the heads up. Mr. Fritz, we're on the air. We didn't get our 20-second high sign. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just praying, but I just want to let you know.
yeah, thank you.
Welcome, everybody, to this regular city council meeting of December 1st, 2025. Would you please call the roll?
Dora,
Here.
Fritz,
Here.
Callio,
Here.
Lyon,
Here.
Manetza.
Here. Our invocation this evening is by Reverend Dr. Jared C. Kramer of St. John's Episcopal Church. Please rise and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The Lord be with you. Let us pray. O Lord, our governor, bless the leaders of our land, that we may be a people at peace among ourselves and a blessing to other nations of the earth. To the President and members of the Cabinet, to governors of states, mayors of cities, and to all in administrative authority, grant wisdom and grace in the exercise of their duties. To senators and representatives, and those who make our laws in states, cities, and towns, give courage, wisdom, and foresight to provide for the needs of all our people and to fulfill our obligations in the community. To judges and officers of our courts, give understanding and integrity that human right may be safeguarded and justice served. Teach our people to rely on your strength and to accept their responsibilities to their fellow citizens, that they may elect trustworthy leaders and make wise decisions for the well-being of our society, that we may serve you faithfully in our generation and honor your name. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in this city of Grand Haven tonight the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people, through Jesus Christ, my Lord. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have no appointments or reappointments this evening, so it brings us to the approval of the consent and regular agendas. Can I get a motion, please?
So
Make a
moved.
motion. Second it.
Okay, a motion by Dora, second by Fritz. I do have one item that I would like to modify. I'd like to remove. I'd like to move the approval of the November 3rd minutes to new business, to make a correction. Anyone else have anything else?
I would like to remove item C to new business.
Okay. Item C would go to, Meeting minutes will go to item 14C, and consent agenda item 11C will go to 14D. I need a motion to do that.
So moved?
Second?
Motion by Callio, second by Lyon, to modify the consent agenda to move the November 3rd meeting minutes to new business item 14C, and to move consent agenda item 11C to 14D. Would you please call the roll?
Fritz,
Yes?
Callio,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. So that modifies the motion for approval of the agendas. Any other changes? Would you please call the roll on the main motion?
Callio,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. All right, at this point, we have a call to the audience. At this time, members of the audience may address council on any item, whether on the agenda or not. Those addressing council are asked to provide their name and address and will be limited to 3 minutes of speaking time. Council will hear all comments for future consideration, will not have a response at this time. Those not physically present who would like to call in may dial 616-935-3203.
I don't know how to answer.
Okay, while she's figuring that out, anybody in the audience like to come to the podium?
Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, I can barely hear you though.
Okay, well, you are live with City Council. If you want to go ahead and state your name and address and then make your comment.
Sure. My name's Jim Hagan, 400 Lake. Good evening, Council. I decided not to go to the council meeting this evening due to bad weather. But what I'd like to talk about is the forage management that's on the agenda. And I think we all agree that it's time for Grand Haven to have a structured, long-term plan for forest management. I feel in the last few years we've done a great job, but it's sort of like playing catch-up. I look at it like a doctor doing emergency surgery on a critically ill person. And a forest takes many years to establish, even centuries to mature. It now must be nurtured and healed, and it may take decades to actually restore our forests. I think it's time for council to pass a long-term forest management plan with a preliminary budget. We need to be proactive in order to restore the forest's health and make it possible for future generations to enjoy one of Grand Haven's most cherished and valuable resources. I urge council to please vote for the 6-year forest management plan as presented in tonight's packet. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Anyone else?
Jared Kramer, I'm the priest across the street at 524 Washington Avenue. I just have two brief things to say. First off, thank you for being here on such a blustery evening. When I texted one of you to see if you're still going on, and was told that you were. So I'm grateful for you being here and giving your time and your service, particularly to our new members of council. I'm looking forward to seeing the good work you will all do. I'll also let you know, anyone here in the room who has a parent, that Grand Haven will have a snow day tomorrow. It was just announced.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, winter is upon us. Anyone else? If not, then I will close the call to the audience, and we will roll into a presentation on the musical fountain, the fall update by Jerry Trout.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Troke, and I'm the chair of the Grand Haven Musical Fountain Committee and president of Friends of the Musical Fountain, the nonprofit that supports, promotes, and raises funds for the fountain. Thank you for the opportunity to give this postseason update. I am especially grateful to be able to address 3 new council members for the first time. Congratulations on the successful campaigns you ran in your efforts to be part of the city council, and welcome aboard. When I was here on May 19th to give a preseason update, we had just completed 2 weekends of song testing in anticipation of starting the 2025 season on Memorial Day weekend. That season concluded on the last Sunday or Saturday of September and was significantly successful, so I'm very pleased to give you this update. First of all, from a physical plant perspective, I can confidently tell you yet again, I know I sound like a broken record, on this issue, but that the fountain is in better shape than it's ever been, as we were able to accomplish another batch of items on our master task list during the season, in addition to doing routine maintenance. The rebuild of pump number 3 that was completed in the spring performed flawlessly throughout the season with no issues or water leakage. We completed the process of replacing the computers and monitors that store and play our shows each night, so we have all new equipment in place there. Winterization of the fountain is already completed, and the fountain is in hibernation for the off-season. When our Thursday crew returns to the hill in March, we'll be focusing on replacing the seals in pump number 2 and completing the rebuilding of the rest of our legacy butterfly valves that was begun this past spring. We currently have 54 items on our master task list that still need attention, so we'll have plenty to do before we get underway Memorial Day weekend next year. If that number sounds daunting, bear in mind that we have completed 890 tasks since we started keeping track of them a few years ago. So we've accomplished a lot up on the hill. Secondly, you may recall that the Musical Fountain Committee voted in the spring to move ahead with the process of replacing the LED fixtures that light up the fountain every night. That process was slowed by the tariff battles that began earlier this year, but I'm happy to report that the equipment has been procured and it is in storage in the pump room on the hill for installation during this off-season. We are very excited about this project, as it will add more light fixtures to the current system, and each new light fixture is about 2.5 times brighter than the units they will replace. We'll be developing the specifics of the fundraising program to help pay for this major upgrade during our spring committee meeting in anticipation of rolling it out to the public as we begin the season next year. Thirdly, while we continue to maintain and keep the fountain in top physical shape this year, the team was also focused on the production side. We again added more new choreographers and completed over 100 more new songs that played this year. We had 110 shows scheduled, with 107 of them actually occurring due to 2 weather cancellations and 1 technical cancellation. But only 2 of those 107 were identical, with our Greatest Showman theme show playing twice. Every other show was a unique experience, with a significant number of firsts this year as we expanded the library to include new song genres. The catalog of songs continues to grow, and the committee will review well over 100 more songs for the list that the choreographers choose from at our upcoming December meeting. Our social media presence exploded this year, growing from approximately 25,000 followers as the season began. An aside here, I wrote this script before Thanksgiving, and since Thanksgiving, the number that I have in the script is 41,000. We're that close to 48,000. So it's been an amazing year. That exploding is accurate. This was a result of new graphics, new videos of the fountain in action, and consistently interesting posts produced by our team. Our crowd counts this year were up significantly to a total of over 64,000 fans, not including our 2 fireworks nights, a marked increase from the 54,000 who saw the fountain shows last year. We also had the opportunity to once again to talk to fans on the radio with multiple visits with WAWL and WGHN. It seems that everybody loves the fountain. Lastly, and perhaps the most exciting thing that's happening, we are in the midst of creating the next generation of choreography software, a project being spearheaded for us by Brad Boink, who many of you know and who is an ex officio member of the committee by virtue of his involvement with the Coast Guard Festival organization, as well as doing a lot of volunteer work. The development process is moving ahead rapidly, with a beta version already in hands of several of our more prolific choreographers for testing and analysis. This new software tool allows choreographers to see a much more realistic simulation of the work they're creating, and it introduces new tools that streamline the process of choreography. One of our testers has estimated that it cuts in half the amount of time required to do a song, which historically is about 1 hour per minute of song time, and it simultaneously improves the quality of the work produced due to the ease of implementing complex choreography approaches using these new tools. This bodes very well for our future, as our current choreographers can be more productive, and the easier-to-use tools should allow more people to become choreographers. I struggle with whether to pursue finding a way to show the software to you as a part of this update, ultimately deciding that it would not be practical to do so. However, we would be happy to demonstrate this new tool to any of you that have interest in seeing it in a one-on-one or a small group basis. As always, we're also glad to provide a behind-the-scenes fountain tour to any council member who would like to have one. Mike, when have you been up there last? It wasn't that 2012 video, was it?
It's been quite a while.
Well, then you'd be amazed even if you've been up there, because it's been a lot of changes. So, in closing, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge one of the new council members for her contributions as part of the Fountain Committee. Sarah Callio, one of the 3 members elected in November, has been an invaluable part of our committee for several years now. You've seen her work in much of our media presence in recent years, including the 60th anniversary celebration in 2023, our website, the rack cards we provide for MDOT welcome centers and other places, the FM 88.7 signs in the parking lots and informational signs along the waterfront, and all of the graphics we use on our social media posts. Her contributions have been extraordinary, and we are greatly appreciate them. We will miss her, as her election to the City Council means that she has to step down from the committee. Please join me in thanking her for her contributions to our success.
Thank you.
Now, this means we have an opening on the committee. If you are in the council chambers here or listening online tonight and are interested in serving with a great group of volunteers focused on the most interesting opportunity in Grand Haven, please go to the city website and fill out an application for Fountain Committee membership. All of us involved at the Fountain are proud to be a part of these efforts, and I want to again thank the City Council and all Fountain fans, wherever you might be, for your ongoing support of the Fountain. Let's continue to work together to make sure that the Fountain is forever. Any questions?
Okay, I would like to get Brad Boink to come up to the microphone and introduce himself, since he is an integral part of this.
He is an integral part of this.
What's up?
No, just introduce yourself.
Brad Boink.
Get closer to the microphone.
Sorry. Brad Boink. Need an address? 11411 Skogan Lane, Grand Haven.
Okay, and tell us what you do.
Everything in the world. No, I designed the choreography software. I'm also the lead trainer for the Fountain. I designed the new lighting system that's going to be going into play. So I'm kind of a jack of all trades, just like my grandfather was.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for what you do as well.
Oh, no problem.
And thank you for stepping up.
You're going to love this new software.
Oh,
It's going to change everything for the Fountain.
Well, I have seen a snippet that you sent me, so I see what it looks like with simulating the water flow and all that. That's
Yeah, since you've seen
a remarkable
it,
piece of
we've
physics.
added already over 60 new features to the software. It is. And what's nice, I don't know if you heard what spearheaded it, but we were running on Java, and Oracle changed, they deprecated the version that we were using. So one day we all went to go use the software, and none of us could use the existing software. It was dead in the water unless we found an old version that we could run on. So that's what prompted the whole thing of let's go out, let's find a company to build this, except the price tag was coming in at $82,000 to $120,000 to build it. So in September, mid-September or so, I just started experimenting with AI tools, and one thing led to another, and we have a full development system with a real-time simulator that simulates the water. It is the closest thing you can actually get to the actual fountain itself now.
Very cool.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
It's way cool.
It is.
And best of all, the new software, not one penny of tax dollars or fountain funds were used to produce it. All in all, I donated roughly what we call AI credits, under $200 worth of AI credits to build it. Not bad, huh?
Pretty good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
problem.
so very much, Brad.
Yeah. And as Jerry says, the fountain is pretty special to this community. It's pretty unique to this community, and we all take a lot of pride in it.
This will be my 41st year involved with the fountain. Can you believe that?
That's it. You're only like 41 years old.
I know.
I wish. Yeah, so. Any other questions I can answer?
Questions, comments? Anyone?
Just want to say thank you for what you guys do for our city and how exciting it is. And I will definitely take you up on the offer to get a tour.
Good.
When the snow melts. How's that? But
That would be not quite as impressive when it's full of snow.
right. I'm excited to see
We
it.
could do icicles coming out.
There you go.
That'd be cool.
I just want to thank you for such a great time on the committee and how much I've enjoyed it. And once in a while, check in. And I don't think the public realizes how hard this committee works and on the labor on the Hill, from that to the choreography, to the training of the choreographers, and to just see in the last few years, since 2021, since I've been on the committee, just the kind of evolution and the newness and the freshness of it. And that's all because of you guys and the people on the committee. So it's been a great time of my life to be a part of it. And I can't wait to see what happens. And I can't wait to see the vibrancy of these new lights. Like,
Those new lights are going to be
they're going to
incredible.
they're going to make a huge difference. So
We're literally going from a palette of 16 colors to 16.7 million colors. We can now produce any visible color on the fountain.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Can't wait.
So to have it be such a legacy item for the city and such a nostalgic part of our community, but also to kind of have it be this tech company that keeps refreshing itself, and that takes a lot of work. So, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate your time and effort and everyone else on the committee as well. Sometimes it's a thankless job and people don't realize all the work that goes into it, but having been there for 44 years, I'm sure that you can attest it's not an easy job, especially when you walk in, your software is not working that day and everybody wants to have a show. So appreciate that and your commitment to the fountain and the city for keeping it up and running. Jerry, Brad, thank you, and committee members as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your support, and we'll look forward to seeing the whole group up on the Hill this year.
We go back a long ways, Brad.
Oh,
We're your
long
family and all. But thank you so very much. I tell you what, I seen it from day one, the musical fountain, when it first came out there. My brother was working down there, taking donations to help keep it going on the hill there. So that was just a coal yard down there. It was dirty and that. What we have now is fantastic. I seen it go from the little spotlights that we had. What are they called? Landing aircraft lights or something they had up there at one time? Yeah, and we made the progression to where we are today. So it's a fantastic thing, and it's what we need here. It's a great attraction for us. It brings a lot of people into town, and plus us old guys are still around, still reminisce about the old days, you know.
Go ahead.
Sitting down in a car down there and watching it go. So thank you both and your committee and everything for what you've done over there and maintaining it and making it what it is today. So thank you.
It's only going to get better.
Okay, we're going to hold you to that.
Oh, please do. Everything that's happening right now is just going to expedite what we've been able to do. Our music library has grown and grown and grown, and people are noticing, and now that we've made it easier, I'm curious to see how many new songs we're gonna have this year, because of the old software, if we're getting 100 out, we can do everything twice as fast now. So, I have a feeling we'll have more songs than we will have slots to play.
Awesome.
It's very possible.
Might have to extend your season.
Could, maybe.
Opening in February?
Yeah.
A little too cold.
Blow the ice out.
Maybe just a show that's all new songs.
We will be doing another round of training after the first of the year for people who want to get involved in choreography.
And how do they get their names to you?
You can go to the website, sign up to be a volunteer there. That's the easiest way to do it. Go to ghfountain.org and click on volunteer.
Okay.
And they can also go to ghmfsoftware.com,
Okay.
and they can sign up for the classes there also.
All right. Good opportunities for creative people.
You got it.
We have plenty of them.
By the way, Brad mentioned AI. What he was referring to was helping to develop the software. There's no plans, no intention to incorporate AI into the actual choreography tools. The biggest reason is because every choreographer's version of any song is a piece of art, literally. It's created, you can tell the difference between individual choreographers, and they develop a style, color preferences, pattern preferences. You can, after a while, you can begin to see, oh yeah, that's David's or that's Don's. And it's pretty interesting. So we cherish the choreographers and their input because it is literally artwork.
Very good. Yes, that's, that human element is pretty critical to this.
Yeah, you can't lose that human element.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as Mr. Troke said, there is now an opening on the Musical Fountain Commission, as there is one on the Planning Commission. Yeah. When you join city council, you have to give up those seats. All right, so that brings us to our consent agenda. So, Ashley, would you like to read that?
Yes. This is to approve the organizational meeting and regular council meeting minutes for November 17th, 2025. Approve the bills memo in the amount of $826,858.65. And to approve a resolution to receive and place on file the annual financial statements for June 30th, 2025, as presented by Riedeveld Hafner LLC.
Can I get a motion?
So moved?
Seconded.
Motion by Fritz, second by Callio. Any other questions or comments on the remaining consent agenda items?
Did you want to remove A?
We removed.
Just the part of it,
just
right?
that one.
Okay.
Yeah, we just removed a portion
Just
of
want to
that.
make sure.
And I believe it was read back that way.
Yep.
If not, then will you please call the roll?
Dora?
Yes.
Fritz?
Yes.
Callio?
Yes.
Lyon?
Yes.
Manetza?
Yes. So that brings us to our first item of new business.
This is consideration by City Council of a resolution to adopt the updated 2025 through 2030 Forest Management Plan. Administration recommends approval.
Can I get a motion on this?
So moved. In a second. Oh, go ahead.
Motion by Dora, second by Lyon. Ashley, do you want to present this, or shall we call up
Mr. Lemke will.
Brian?
Good evening, Council. Derek Lemke, Facilities and Grounds Manager for the city. Before you tonight is the updated Grand Haven Forest Management Plan for 2025 through 2030. This plan builds on our long-term forest stewardship program and reflects the most recent field assessments across Duncan Woods, Mulligan's Hollow, Lake Forest Cemetery, and other city-managed parcels. This plan provides a coordinated 5-year strategy focused on protecting resistant trees, treating priority hemlocks, removing hazardous or heavily compromised trees, restoring degraded trail segments, and monitoring forest health annually. Here with us tonight is the co-author of the plan and the city's Assistant Director of Urban Forestry, Dr. Larry Burns, to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Okay. Larry, would you like to say a few words?
Good evening. I was going to say the 2-sentence answer or the 1-hour answer, but I'm so excited to be here, honestly. And I didn't think I'd feel that way. But was it November 22nd of 2022 was the first time we came forward with a plan. And we've run it for 3 years now. And I wish I could share the litany of things we've accomplished. But as the caller suggested, it has been an uphill battle. We have 8 epicenters that are currently managed. We've treated 65% of our trees, hemlock trees in Lake Forest Cemetery. We're at 51% in Mulligan's Hollow. And so we've made considerable strides. We've looked at different treatment strategies and always looking at best practices, and we've modified as required. So I'm open to a lot of questions. I didn't know, since some of you are new, whether you'd like a little bit of a backdrop, because I know you're seeing an addendum. But in 2022, Brett Kuipers prepared a 24-page document called the actual long-term plan. It has the maps and the designated areas and the degrees of invasive species in different locations. Then City Council voted on a 4-page document that included a slight budget. So what Brett Kuipers did this year was he prepared an addendum that attaches to the longer 24-page item. And then I also prepared the plan itself. So that's what's before you this evening. And then there's the budget, there's the health index, and also Brett Kuipers' addendum for this year. So those are the 3 appendices that you have. And so I'd be welcome to take any questions. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much data, but there's a ton of really good things to say.
I think we've learned a few things over the past 3 years too, haven't we?
That'd be an understatement. I was thinking that first 3 years, we actually Pasha and I drilled enough holes that if we were treating the General Sherman Sequoia, we'd be 3/4 of the way around. That's how many drills at 3 inches apiece at the sense just for the treatment of Oakville itself in the first 7 epicenters. So yes, we have learned a lot. Thank God for modernization and pressurized delivery systems. So yes.
Okay, questions, comments?
How will this work with the deer management plan? Will you guys work together? I mean, I assume now they're going to be 2 separate plans, but they kind of do need to go hand in hand and work together for the success of both.
Yeah.
And there obviously is deer mentioned here, but
I think actually the way that the original plan by Kuiper's, there were 4 pillars: reforestation, invasive species, deer management, and they all worked together. Gene Madden referred to those as pillars. And so each of the pillars was sort of a general focus. My specific focus was, let's say, the trees. And then the second focus was almost tied with that was the deer management component. So indeed, they are definitely locked together. You'll see them mentioned here as well. In terms of how they work together, I'm hopeful that we'll see a decrease in the number of deer so we can actually engage in the reforestation component of this plan as outlined. But currently we can't because they are eating any of the saplings and stuff that we would try to plant. So although we do have some deer-protected sugar gums up on Tank Hill, that 50% did survive. So we've done some, but not as much as we'd like. Does that answer your question?
yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
yeah.
And then for how we're treating things, the pesticides and what we're using to
Mm-hmm.
treat them, I mean, would they harm the deer? Would that harm other wildlife? How do we decide what we're using to treat the forest
Yeah,
best,
that's
like
a really good
environmentally
question.
friendly way?
I'll try to keep it really succinct. So we started with imidacloprid, which is a neonicotinoid in 2019, 2020, and it was efficacious, but only for HWA. In the intervening years, we discovered that elongate hemlock scale, EHS, elongate hemlock scale, was also a problem that wasn't anticipated, and imidacloprid also promoted the growth or the proliferation of blue spider mites. And so the current medication that we're using, or pesticide, if you will, is dinotefron. And dinotefron is a similar class, but it also helps control or eliminate elongate hemlock scale and the spider mites. So it's actually a better product. It's more expensive, but it moves in tandem. So the second part of your question is, we're using a basal bark application, and there's some questions about whether it gets into the water table or the ground table. And since it's limited in its application and very carefully applied, it doesn't actually get down into the water table. In terms of its harm to other animals, it's actually a product that is sometimes used in cat and dog flea collars. It's applied to Christmas trees, prior to their season, and then we have them in our houses. And so it's to say that we want a lot of it, but we're very careful in its application and very judicious in the way in which we apply it.
Thank you.
And it is applied. I'm MDARD certified applicator, and so are the folks who are applying it. So we're very, and it's been used for many, many years in the state of Michigan and very carefully. So,
Thank you.
my pleasure.
I'm good.
Okay.
It seems to be a very comprehensive plan. We have 40 acres in the American Tree Farm System, so I deal with foresters for that, not to the extent of this, but it does seem like you've got a very good comprehensive plan written up. I like the section on dealing with the severely diseased trees and removal.
Yeah.
I think that will help to open up the canopy and the crown area up above and maybe let some
Yeah.
which the deer management will maybe help them get a leg up and actually see some new growth in the area. So I was happy to see that. I think all in all, it should work out fine. It looks like there's probably enough funding in there to keep you going for a little while. So I appreciate your efforts and coming up with this and helping us keep our wooded areas.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Sarah?
I just think that taking a step back and looking at, just so people understand the difference between, large forest ecosystems and urban forests, I think is important. I think we kind of sometimes think of this natural progression of forests grow and ebb and die, and, that's a natural progression of it. But when you have an urban forest that's very different, and that it really needs to have intervention to be able to handle these things, which is not necessary maybe in huge, vast areas of the UP because of that denser and more diverse population of trees in an area like the UP where we have limited growth. So I don't know if you could just speak to that just a little bit so people are reminded of why we continue to have this conversation and put this time and effort into something that if we, ask, most people are very, want to have an urban forest, but might not understand why this is different than having a vast kind of natural ebb and flow and circle of life and all of that in the forest.
I think that Mike touched upon it briefly by example. We actually don't have a 10% gap in the canopy at this point. And some would say, well, it's because we haven't had a forest fire in 100 years. Or we haven't had heaven forbid, we don't want a horrific windstorm. But there haven't been the sort of natural occurrences which would institute the canopy gaps that are necessary. So we would use the word selective canopy management. And we need about 10%. We need about 8. There are some metrics in terms of the number of snag trees and the number of tip overs that should be there, which aren't there, the crude woody debris that isn't there because we haven't had enough trees break down. And so we're improving our management techniques. I guess the answer, there's a lovely book, and it says, friend, you can have an urban forest in a residential area and think it's a forest like they normally are, because there aren't any predators, and there is the natural system itself that surrounds it that would regenerate in the way that you would see up in these large tracts of forested areas. So, I mean, when we had the snag on Mulligan's Hollow, I got 3 different experts who said, don't touch it. And I was like, but it doesn't look the way I want it to. I said, that is a forest. And now we have a coyote that has a den under that slash pile. And so in a sense, yes, because we don't have other predators, we have to intervene in the same system the way that he would be describing in terms of canopy management, in terms of the deer, in terms of the regeneration of different species. And then I'll stop there because it's really fascinating and complicated. But yes, it requires management because there aren't any other systems in place in this that surrounds our 200 acres. I'll give you an example. Many, many years ago, I told my daughter, I want to find the owl's nest and I want to see a pine marten because I knew they were releasing pine martens up in the UP. And for 10 years, I labored to find a pine marten in our woods. And someone said, friend, you're not going to find them here because they are not they're not interconnected. There's no way for them to get from point A to point B to point C to point D to get here because they can't zigzag across. And I was like, oh, because it's separated. And because it's separated, we have to make different management decisions on behalf of our tree friends.
I just want to say thank you very much, Larry, for all your work you've done here with it, because I remember how many elm trees we used to have in this town, and then the Dutch elm disease came through and wiped out a ton of them. And now the oak wilt we have, it's terrible because it just goes from one disease to another, and it's usually an invasive species of some kind comes to us and destroys our trees. And without our trees, we have no oxygen, and it's what we have to have, so for us to take care of our urban forests like we do it's a very high on my list, I think. So I just want to say thank you so very much. And I just want to make a note. I've been getting some emails. I sent them over to Ashley. I sent you some of the, we used to have a chance to get some grants to take care of these diseases and that. We missed out on a few of them, but I think we should keep an eye on them, make sure that we can get to them, because the state had, I forget how many millions of dollars that they passed out for the woolly adelgid and all that. They passed out to different places. So it'd be nice if we kind of keep our eyes out on it, make sure that we get on that list and help us out, because a little boost from them would be very helpful, trying to get it back to us. When I get it, I'll send it over again, but I'm sure they're going to have another for next year be coming up again for them. It's kind of like an ongoing thing for the state of Michigan to have those kind of grants for us. But I just want to say thank you for all your hard work, and we just need to just be very, very diligently go toward everything on there. So I'm all for it, Larry. Thank you.
If you want some good news, and sort of delayed bad news or good news, but the West Michigan Conservation SISMA, so Executive Director Muriel did apply for a grant, which was approved for this year, but then it was delayed for a variety of different reasons. But the funds were restored, so she anticipates treating some of the city parcels, including some of the Highland Park locations, with that grant money. So we're definitely eager and chasing it. But if you're aware of some grants that we can pursue, we'll definitely do it too.
Absolutely.
Thanks, yes.
Yeah, you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I just want a couple comments. One, when you talk about the complexity of it and how all these things work together, in the world of ecology or anywhere else, everything is connected to everything. And you can't touch one thing without it affecting another. And so the balance that you're achieving by careful study, by considering all the different elements, that's critical for a healthy system. In a natural world where there's enough of it, that we don't need to intervene, it kind of balances itself. And here we're trying to do that balance with intervention. And so it has to be carefully considered and it has to be followed through. And you can't start and stop and start and stop. So this is necessary that we have a system, a plan in place that we keep on our radar all the time and follow through on. So appreciate that piece of it. You mentioned about the Purple Martin you're trying to find, and they can't get here from there and that sort of thing. One of the things I attended a seminar many years ago in zoning. It was called Filling the Gaps, and it was a really interesting seminar I went to, and it was all about how cities can kind of intervene in natural restoration or natural systems and such. And one of the sorts of things you can do is establish sensitive areas, which we have scattered around our city. There are little areas that people say, well, there's nothing of value in this little patch of sensitive area, but it serves exactly that purpose that animals, birds and such, they can kind of hopscotch around and find their way from here to there if there's enough connected areas that they can get to that we save within our city. So sometimes when we look at sensitive areas under zoning, we say, why did we save this? Or this serves no purpose, or so on. There's a purpose, and as part of this interconnectedness, we just have to keep that in mind that all these things are worth preserving if we want to have a natural environment within our urban environment. And so I think that's another piece of this, and I think that's a great illustration of that. And when people ask about sensitive areas, that's kind of the answer, and it's a little hard to get to sometimes without that insight. So I appreciate that. The only comment that I would make then by way of possibly criticism here is that I've commented before that when we look at our urban forests, when we look at whether it's the deer management or anything else, that we have a 6 square mile city and we're focusing so much attention on 200 acres of it, which is a contiguous forest within the city. But there are other areas within the city we should also be looking at and see what level of management is appropriate, whether it's the 145 acres across the river or whether it's areas along the river on the east side of town or pockets within the city that we consider sensitive that probably could use some attention as well. So somehow, maybe obviously not today, but somehow we want to start rolling those areas into our plan. So we have a comprehensive urban forest canopy plan that really covers the entire city and allows for all these things to be connected to one another. So I know the focus right now is more on the areas we've been working on, and it's so incredibly expensive to do that we can't take too much at a time. But I'd like to see the plan expanded to be a citywide plan for all the areas that are relevant. And that's more to come, I would guess.
I would add to that, I shared a spreadsheet with Derek last week, 385 acres if you include the 100 acres on the other side of the river. So I'm well aware of the amount of acreage. When I first started here, people said, keep your sites in this specific location and expand once you get to. Ashley approved the treatment of the 11 plus acres in Highland Park Association in 2024, which we did, and it's budgeted for 20% coverage in 2026. So we're gently edging our way out, but as you said, I have to, I tread very lightly in terms of the budget and very cautiously, but as thoughtfully as I can. So small steps was what I was, someone told me, Larry, you can't fix it all in one day.
No,
and I was like, well, that's my plan, but
clearly you can't.
I was urged to take it step by step. So I hear you and I completely agree with you. And I'd actually love to take a look at the relationships in terms of the different locations and see if there are ways to utilize exactly what you pointed out, where there might be ways of integrating them or making sure, here's water for the waterfowl and here's this from that, something else. But maybe that's a longer conversation for a different day, but yes, I'm very aware of that, and I appreciate your
Right,
suggestion.
I think we have a lot of tools and a lot of good intentions, and we just need to make sure we utilize them effectively and don't overextend ourselves, but still do the things that are important to do for our city. So thank you for everything you
No,
do.
my pleasure.
Thank you for your thoroughness. Really appreciate that.
It's a labor of love. The reporter said, why do you do it? Because I love trees, and the trees need an advocate. So that's how I see it. And it's a wonderful and amazing team to work with.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on this item? If not, would you please call the roll?
Lyon,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Callio,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. Next item, please.
Consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve a grant application for the Pre-Development Accelerator Program through the Michigan Infrastructure Office in the amount of $50,000 for the Grant Street Reconstruction Project. Administration recommends approval.
Can I get a motion?
So moved?
Motion by Fritz, second by Lyon. Mike, are you going to explain what we're asking for here?
Yes, good evening. So, in cruising the internet looking for different things, Joelle from Avonmarsh found this grant. It came out the first part of November, and we have today at 11 o'clock for a deadline for this. So this is a $50,000 grant possibly for Grant Street from Beacon all the way to Beech Tree. The infrastructure underneath the road is failing. There's a 4-inch water main, which is inadequate in size. The storm is big enough, if you hunch over, you can walk through it. All the joints are starting to fail and starting to siphon in the sand. And you can actually drive down the road and see where those joints are because the road is starting to fail. Sewer in that area is, I believe, 1940s clay. So lots of roots, lead. So this would all help so much if we can get this. It's up to $50,000. It's not $50,000. So just so you know, it's up to $50,000 that we do not have to match funds for if we get this.
What's the timeline on this project?
Timeline, we've identified it in our 6-year capital improvement plan. I believe it's towards the latter part of the 6 years.
Okay. So this is, because I wasn't familiar with this project. I found it in the capital plan, and other than that, I knew nothing about it. So.
Yep. It wasn't on the radar, but this money came up, and this was a good opportunity for us to possibly get some money to start getting the ball rolling on it.
Okay. Questions? Comments?
Good work.
Great idea. This isn't the first time we change directions on things where we should get something that we needed done, so. I appreciate it very much, Mike. I'm in favor.
It's a big stretch, and there's a lot of
Sure
lead
is.
through that area, and I'd like to get this lead out of the ground as quick as we can.
What's the total cost for that project that will
Don't
be
know.
needed?
This will help determine that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Multiple millions, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
I always appreciate when we can take advantage of grant money that is out there. And I appreciate Avonmarsh and yourself in finding ways that we can put in for it, because it certainly does help us from the city budget-wise and the general fund to supplement income in these ways, as you well know. So I appreciate that. The only question I had, is there a fee that Avonmarsh charges us to move ahead with this?
That would be all included in the
Be included in
possible
whatever
money that
we-
we get. Yep, that would
Okay.
help cover the fees in order to do all the pre-engineering stuff that they need to do.
Perfect. I support it, and I hope it moves forward, and appreciate your work.
I hope we get it.
So I assume it was 11 o'clock p.m.
Yes.
To get it
yes,
in.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we got
Joelle brought it up
Almost.
during our
almost 3 hours.
a couple weeks, and she's like, "Can we put in for this?" I'm like, I called Ashley. I'm like, "I know this is short, but can we get this on the agenda?"
Okay. Anything else? No, good move, good thoughts, and appreciate Avonmarsh looking out for us. They've been a good partner with us, and appreciate your knowing enough to ask. It's good to be looking ahead.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. If there's no other questions, would you please call the roll?
Dora,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Callio,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. Okay, go get it in now.
Here you go, Mike, put it together.
All right, next item, please.
This is consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve the meeting minutes for the November 3rd, 2025 regular City Council meeting minutes.
Can I get a motion on this?
Twice.
So moved.
In support.
Motion by Doris, second by Fritz. I asked that this be removed because I wanted to make a correction, and it's been our practice to pull it off the consent agenda, bring it up in new business, and make the correction, and then pass it as an amended motion. The correction I want to make is item 25-208, which reads on here, Councilmember Fritz moves, second by Councilmember Lowe, to approve a contract amendment with Partial Tree Care Services Traverse City, Tree Duncan Park, in the not-to-exceed amount of $85,000, contingent upon the approval of Duncan Park Commission, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the necessary documents. And as a roll call vote, this motion failed unanimously. No, it passed unanimously.
Not failed.
It did not fail, so that's my correction, is I want to say this motion carried unanimously. So I need a motion to amend this.
Motion to amend.
I'll second it.
Motion by Callio, second by Fritz, to make that correction. Here again, we have to do this 2 steps, but any questions on the motion? Please call the roll.
Callio,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes, so now we've amended the minutes, now we need to vote on the minutes. Please call the roll.
Fritz,
Yes.
Callio,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes, okay. Hopefully I didn't miss a step in there.
Got it.
This is a little more complex than we used to do. We used to do it kind of by acclamation, but this is fine. Okay, next item, please.
It's consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve a memorandum of understanding with Ottawa County and participating municipalities for LexisNexis services.
Okay, can I get a motion on this?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion by Fritz, second by Callio. Actually, you can explain this one?
Yep, so this is a request from our Department of Public Safety to enter into an agreement. So it's a subscription-based software program allowing for regional interface with data sharing for different data, including like citations, accidents, that kind of information. We do participate in it individually, but this is an opportunity for cost share and, again, that interface from that regional perspective. So it is a budgeted for amount.
Okay. Aaron, this was your call.
Yeah, I only wanted to pull it off because this is more of a contract than a memorandum of understanding, and there's just a few things in here that aren't, first off, there's a typo in section 1.1, but there's no length of time, clearly it's a 5-year contract, but there's no length of time in here that actually says that. And then it also says, like, it's that any termination is based around the LexisNexis agreement date, but we don't even have any idea what that is. And I just wanted to know if this, like, the actual full LexisNexis agreement that is referenced in here had been reviewed by our attorney or not. I mean, I know that it's low stakes in the amounts, and LexisNexis is what we used in law school, so I'm well aware of what it is, but I just want to make sure that if we're signing a contract, that we have all that necessary information.
Yeah, and I will say yes in a roundabout way. Our attorney is also the attorney for Ottawa County right now. So yes.
Okay, we're just missing, it just seemed like we're missing some dates for a contract.
Should we postpone this until we have the proper information on our contract?
Can you clarify what date?
Well,
The
like
approval
in
dates?
part 9.1, it says that you get 60 days prior to the end of the LexisNexis contract year. What is that? Like, in case we do want to pull out of this, in the end, we decide we don't want to do it, we just don't have dates for what the LexisNexis contract year is. And it doesn't actually say, like, for us signing up for this 5 years, you just know it's 5 years based on the funds that were,
Yeah.
given to us.
My suspicion is when all municipalities have formally signed it, that would be but I guess I can't say for certain at this point.
Well, so the thing, though, is that Ottawa County should be the one with the actual LexisNexis agreement, so they should have a date on that
Okay.
already, right? So, because that is what's referenced in here, and we're just splitting the funds, that they're formally responsible for. I don't want to hold up this, I don't want us to be the holdup in this happening and getting through, but I just think it would be good for us to know.
Yeah, it's left.
It's kind of important to know.
Is there a problem with waiting to approve this when you have that information?
I don't believe there was necessarily a time crunch on this item, no.
As far as holding things up, well, if we need that information on this contract, then there's nothing wrong with holding it up.
Yeah, I mean, I just think we should make sure it's as accurate as it should be from a legal standpoint if we're going to sign it.
We're currently in it now, aren't we?
We are individually, but this would be a
Joint.
joint contract with our regional partners, so I believe it would be a separate document. But we could certainly postpone this until we have that clarification.
Thank you.
That would require a motion.
Motion to postpone.
Second.
We have a motion by Calio, second by Lyon, to postpone further action until you get requested information. Any questions on that? Call the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Dora,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Calio,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes, okay, so this item is postponed while pending further information. And that is our last item of new business. So that brings us to report by city council. Who would like to make a report?
I just wanted to say that there's so much to celebrate right now, and I love that about this season. But we also know it isn't an easy time for everyone. So the holidays can be overwhelming, stressful, and lonely for some. And with this snow, it's just a really good idea and a reminder to reach out to the people around us, check in on a neighbor, especially anyone who might be having a tough time physically or emotionally. A quick call, text, or knock on the door can mean more than you think at this time. So just a good reminder.
All right.
Thank you. Very good. I have to agree. I just want to give out a good shout out to our public safety. There was a fire next door to my business this past week, and I tell you, it was pretty scary because the flames were pretty high and the winds were blowing at 60 miles an hour, and they come running in telling us we had to evacuate my building. I'm going, yeah, flames right next door, and the flammables I have in my shop, I go, yeah, I don't think I want to stand here. They did a fantastic job of containing it. They called in Spring Lake, Ferrysburg, Grand Haven Township. We had 5 fire trucks there, and they contained it into the building itself. And then they called in DPW to come in because they couldn't get into the back wall, and they ripped the back wall out and actually extinguished the fire. Then it finally got under control. So I just want to say thank you to all our guys that worked so very hard. I mean, it's not the best time, it was being with water and the wind was blowing, it was cold. So, yes, I want to say thank you to them for doing what they did and maintaining so I didn't lose my building, for one thing. And also, you're right, there is a lot of need out there, and there's a lot of people who need a lot of help. And I witness it every day, and it's kind of crazy, but we need to reach out and be helpful to everybody. Just a little kindness sometimes goes a long ways. And also, I want to say, we went to the Christmas tree lighting at Bolt Park. It was a fun time, I tell you what, it was really good. It was cold, it was snowing, but that's the normal for there. I enjoyed it every time. I've been there, every one of them so far, and I tell you what, it's still a good time. I just want to say thank you for everybody that showed up out there. I think it was that Wendy that was there.
Yeah, Wendy.
Yep. And I want to say thank you to her for spearheading out there and being the leader for us, and it was absolutely great. So thank you, Wendy, very much. And that's about it right now.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Oh, I just want to say thanks to all the pilots that flew this weekend, both directions, where I don't know if I'm not really scared to fly, but leaving on Wednesday, I was a little worried about the wind and heading both directions, a little bit of delay, but we got to and from Austin, Texas just fine. Could have stayed a few more days, I think. Waited for the snow to go away. But I'm just thankful for safe travel and all the amazing people we met. And yeah, Cyrus, thank you for mentioning what you did. Yeah, right now is the time we had a few friends in need this weekend and we weren't here, so I understand that.
I'd like to echo the same, Sarah. Thank you for the comments. We don't realize the number of homeless people, needy people that we have in our areas because we don't see them a lot, like some of the bigger cities. But we do have them, and they do need our help and our support. So we try to donate to the local food pantries and the local clothing outlets as much as we can. But I would encourage other residents to do the same. If we all reach out, we can help make someone's life a little bit better. There's lots of toy drives coming up for underprivileged children. Take advantage of them. I know the mayor was standing down in the middle of the intersection collecting some money the other day.
I didn't keep it.
I appreciate that, but, you know, there's a lot of ways to reach out, a lot of ways to be involved, and if we all pitch in, it certainly will help make someone's life a lot better. So I encourage everyone to do that. Thanks to DPW for keeping our streets navigable and our sidewalks are on the way, I guess. It's been a tough couple of days, I'm sure, and it doesn't sound like it's going to get any easier for a couple more, so I appreciate that. Was it light night? It was a great time. Thanks to Wendy, as Mike had said, for showing up, kind of steering us along a little bit, helping the mayor get the tree plugged in. So it was a great time. I wish we would have had a little more support from some of the local neighbors, but it was great. There was people had a good time. What else do I have? Oh, I don't know if anybody's read, but the lighthouse at the end of the pier has suffered some pretty significant damage to some windows up in the Fresno Light area from the last storm. Actually busted two of the windows out. The Lighthouse Conservancy is in the process, along with Pushaw Builders, of getting that repaired and just kind of temporarily done, but it is going to need some new glass panes and some additional work in order to help preserve a lot of the funds that have been expended to have that open to the public at some point. So if anybody's looking for a place to donate some money at the end of the year, I know the Lighthouse Conservancy and Community Foundation are happy to receive those tax-deductible donations to help keep that repaired and in good shape. Other than that, I'm good.
Okay, thanks. And thank you for everyone's comments. This is the time when we need to remember our humanity more than any other time, but, you know, it's a year-round thing, but it's really in our thoughts now. We attended the Bolt Park. I did find the cord. We did plug it in. The lights came on, and that was good.
Digging through the snow.
Because cords were buried under the snow, but it was fine. So we got that done. We're going to have our Jingle Bell Parade coming up this coming weekend, and I want to remind everyone that effective this morning already, the overnight parking ban is in place for parking on the streets. You can see the difference on Sunday morning after we had the heavy snow Saturday. And the plows went out and they tried to get around town, and they were plowing around parked cars that were on the street, and just hard to make a good job out of that when you have to drive around all these parked cars when you have white heavy snow everywhere. So the parking ban is in place. If you don't have a special permit from public safety to park on the street overnight, make sure you move your vehicles, make sure that we can plow the streets. And that's it just makes their job more efficient and makes the streets better, and kind of protects your car too, because it's not on the street. And that's about all that I wanted to comment on. So I'm going to turn it over to Ashley.
All I have is just a reminder that we did set our goal and strategy setting meeting date for December 17th at 5 p.m. So it's a slight shift from what we had originally thought we would plan on. So the public notice will go out for that. But we do have a community budget survey that is on our website right now, and we'll been sharing that. So it's a great opportunity for residents to submit feedback on how they feel about the services they're getting, areas of opportunity, what they like, don't like, would like to see more of in our budget process or less of. So just encourage anyone out there to take a look at that. Again, the link is on our website, and any help from anyone in sharing that link out widely is appreciated.
Okay, thanks. Yes, I was going to mention that and slipped my mind, but it is important that in our budget process, I think a lot of the public feels kind of left out, that here we are struggling with budget issues and priorities and setting the things that we think are important for the city, but we need to ask the people, are we doing the things you want? Are you seeing the results you want? What would you like to see different? This gives you an opportunity to give some feedback to council before we start our process, and then we can be better informed by that. Not everything that comes up in the survey is immediately useful, but it's all feedback from the community. I think it's important as elected officials that we know what the people are thinking about. So, thank you. All right, that brings us to our second call to the audience. This time, members of the audience may address council on any item, whether on the agenda or not. Please leave your name and address. You're limited to 3 minutes of speaking time. We'll hear all comments for future consideration. Those not physically present who would like to call in may dial 616-935-3203. Who would like to address council? No one? Phone's not ringing?
No.
Okay. Everybody's out shoveling? Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to close the call to the audience, and if there's no further business, we are adjourned. Thank you.